Hello, thank you for tuning into this week's read. For the main part, for the tarot, I'm using the Thelema tarot. On the bottom here is the information, artwork by Renata Lechner. And the bottom is what I'm trying to get to, so you can go to the website. Feel free to check out that website, Las Carabo. I feel like I've said it right once in my life. But you can see it right there. There's a Facebook little thingy too, and there's the address, I think. Feel free to check that out if you're interested. Supportive oracle cards are going to be your clairvoyant oracle cards by Belinda Grace, illustrations by Elaine Marzin. Website on this one, rockpoolpublishing.com.au as an apple, use an umbrella. And then last but not least, I do use dice. The dice I use are from this. They're from Amazon. I use the 20 for the major arcana, which does omit 21, I know, but I still make it work. And then for the minor arcana, I use the D4 to choose the element, and I use the D12 to choose the number, which does omit the queen and king, but again, I just go with it. I work with it. So there's that information if you're interested. Of course, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. And here we go to your reading. Hello, Virgo. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them, as all of them are on my channel. That being said, what do we have for Virgo? Virgo. Where are we going, Virgo? Go, go, go. Go, go, go. All right, let's see where are we going with this? Apparently I'm stuck on that word. Oh, that's an awkward... Okay, so working with something, working with what's actually happening. Working with what's actually happening. That sounds kind of like a Virgo thing anyway. Kind of like, show me what's real. Don't show me a possibility. Show me what's real. Like, you want possibilities, yes. You want opportunities, yes. But like, not something like, oh, that sounds fun. I don't want something that sounds fun. I want something that I feel like, okay, I can see where I could get that. Tell me more. Or if it's kind of like, you could be the star of a blockbuster movie. Unless you're already an actor, you're like, I mean, I guess technically that could happen, but I don't see the path to it, so I don't really want to hear about that right now. What I want to hear about is, like, I can make money doing my hobby full time, and this is how I could do it, and this is how it's worked for other people. Something like that. Does that make sense? So say you do good with woodworking for whatever reason, and you're like, I would love to do that more, and I'd like to make some money off of it. And people are like, well, the possibility with that is if you learn how to make rocking chairs, there's a big market for people who are traveling. People like to buy the rocking chairs, especially if you can, like, compress them down and they can travel well. And you're like, I wonder if I could do that. Let me see what actual realistic possibilities I could do, where I could not only make them, but they could be easily transported. Stuff like that. That's more of a Virgo thing. Like, show me the practical possibility. So there's a possibility coming in. Have you thought about it already? What is this? You got the Queen of Swords and the Ace of Swords, and then the Page of Swords. But the Page of Swords is where you're advancing to, so I'm like, it's like we're doing less thought and more something else. So the Tower, half in, half out. I think you've seen somebody else fail in this similar situation. And then the Eight of Swords, half in, half out. So if we're going to use this analogy of the rocking chairs with the woodworking and the being able to compress them down so they're easily transported, it's almost like I feel like I've seen somebody else go through this type of situation and put a lot of effort into making, why not rocking chairs or whatever. Maybe it was tables. Maybe it was just something different. But it's similar but different. And they made like maybe 15 to 20 of these tables, because they did tables instead of something else, whatever you're thinking of, like rocking chairs. They did that. They put all this money into that, all this time into it. They made like 15 to 20, and they only sold about 4 or 5. And then the tables after that, it took them years to get rid of them, and then they ended up just kind of breaking even, possibly losing a little bit of money in the long run. And it's kind of like, all right, I see how they put a lot of effort into it. They thought those tables would sell. They did sell like 4 to 5, but they made 15 to 20. And it took them a long time to get rid of them, And then it's like, what good was it? What good was it in the long run? Maybe they did learn a lot more about how to make what they wanted to make. They got a lot better at it. But all the time they put into it, all the craftsmanship, or craftswomanship, whatever, craftspersonship, all the talent they put into it doesn't seem like it paid off. Doesn't seem like people wanted to pay for the talent that it deserved, or the money it deserved for the talent, if you follow me. And it's kind of like, all right, I know I can do this stuff, and I'm looking at it kind of like, yeah, I could put in that money. Maybe the wood isn't that expensive, but the time is. And then the time I'm going to need to sell it, and then where am I going to sell them? Am I going to be the one waiting to sell them? I feel like you've looked through the possibilities, like however they did it, you're like, yeah, I would do this different, and I would do that different. And possibly, it's kind of like maybe I would have sold like 10 or 11 of them, but in the long run, would it have still been worth it? It's kind of like I can see the errors in how they did it. I can see how the errors and how they handled it. Maybe they put a little bit too much effort in it in the beginning before they found out how it would really hit. And maybe they were selling them on the side of the road, and you're like, I know some people, I could sell them in their shops, and maybe kind of like a consignment thing. So you're like, maybe I could do it differently. Maybe it would work out better, but better enough that I feel like it would be worth it, and I'm still not feeling like it's guaranteed the way it would go. So I'm looking at it, I'm thinking about it, I'm trying to make peace with it. It's kind of like I want to do it. So in this analogy, if it was woodworking, making rocking chairs, it's something that you actually enjoy and be happy doing. So if that analogy isn't working for you, whatever analogy would work, like baking, delivery, whatever it would be. Maybe it's writing things for other people, stuff like that. I feel like you're really conflicted, but whatever this is, you don't really want to let go of it just yet, is what I'm getting. But it's kind of like, yeah, but I'm not seeing a practical version of this idea really working for me. Again, I could put in the time and effort, and I feel like I'm looking at it, I could make sure it breaks even, but all the time and effort I put into it is going to be lost. So is it really breaking even? I could break even with the cost of materials at the very least, I'm sure of that. But the time I put into it, I might have a loss there, and I don't like that. I'm not here for that. But whatever it is, you're still kind of like, I really would like to do it. Okay, this is going to be interesting because you're holding to it at this point. You haven't completely given up on it, but you're kind of like paying attention. Every now and then I feel like I'm hearing this or that about this type of idea, and then I'm like maybe researching it on my own. Maybe I'm going on the internet and how does this work? How much does that cost? Maybe materials are a little bit more lucrative at the moment, or a little bit more favorable to your side of the equation at this point. A little bit more cost effective for what you want. I think there's going to be like somebody knows you're good at whatever you're good at. In fact, maybe a few people know what you're good at. For some of you, this could just be a work opportunity, kind of like I could work extra, but am I really going to make enough money to make it worth it? Because somebody seems to be paying attention, and they're like, we know Virgo's good at this. We know Virgo could do this. I wonder if Virgo would do this for us. So it's almost like this opportunity is coming towards you. Okay, so I'm feeling like the opportunity, if you have it in your control, could be a possibility. I feel like this is the biggest challenge of this situation. Alright, so you got the Ace of Fire reversed, and then the Tower card reversed. Ace of Fire reversed is like something that's trying to start but won't start quickly. It doesn't mean there's no possibility, but if you're trying to do a quick start, it's not going to work out. Or if you're agreeing to something in a quick deal, or you're within a day, you're like, okay, well, I'll do this, and I'm signing my name to something. That to me would say that's not a good idea to start something quick like that. To not agree to something or to bind your something to something quickly. I feel like that's saying that's not a good idea. The Tower card reversed is telling me that something might have a stale start or a false start. The Tower card reversed is kind of like it's kind of like instead of the tower falling, it's kind of like we have plans to make the tower, but the tower doesn't really seem to happen. In this situation, in conjunction with the two of them, the Ace of Swords, no, it's the Ace of Fire. The Ace of Fire and the Tower reversed Both of them reversed, actually. The two of them together makes me feel like it's a false start or not. It's not starting. It seems like it would. It seems like it's saying it's a bad thing. It's a bad idea to kind of get yourself too involved in it until it starts showing its merit. There's somebody here who wants control, and there's something here with somebody is making sure the money works out in their benefit. It's almost like they're guaranteeing their side before they guarantee your side. I don't know why Virgo would go for this, but I'm seeing like whoever this is, it seems like somebody seems to make a lot of sense to you, but it's more in their control. I'm getting that this is a bad idea. This is not a good idea for this to be in somebody else's control more than yours. Whatever this opportunity is, I do feel like there's a possibility for you to get it, but it's something where you're going to have to take the reins and somebody's going to kind of pull you into it and be like, you could do this, and this is how I want you to do this for me. That's going to be a bad idea. This opportunity, it's almost like saying, I know this company over here, I know this, if we're going to do rocking chairs, I know this little shop that gets a lot of tourist trade, and if you make these for me, I'll work it out with them so that, they make sure that these chairs are in the front and they keep pushing the chairs, and I can guarantee you that you'll make 30% of the profit you want, and then I'll make some profit here, and then we can all work this out. So like if you were trying to make $100 per chair, you're going to make like $30. And it's kind of like, maybe I can make 4 or 5. Maybe that's okay. Maybe. But it's just a rough estimate. I feel like that's a bad way to go. And I'm kind of curious why Virgo would consider that. But what path should Virgo take if this opportunity kind of goes? I feel like you need to go around this person. That person's not going to like it. But I feel like if you really want that opportunity to go to your favor, I'm getting you're going to need to go around that person, and it's going to make you very uncomfortable. Go right to the business that they're talking about and ask them what they think and ask them what the actual deal is. I do feel it may seem like it's a dirty bird. I don't know. I feel like it may make you uncomfortable. Like I'm cutting out the middleman and making the profit myself, but I feel like that's more legitimate in this situation. Ironically, I feel like it's hard for you to do that, to go around it and kind of work it from the other side and kind of like, let me get on the inside and know that you're interested. It's like going to that shop and like, I know you're interested in this or you're thinking about that. What are the true possibilities here? Because I'll work with you directly maybe, but I'm not going to go through a third party for this. It may feel like that's I don't know. I feel like you're going to have a good opportunity. This could be a great opportunity for you. It does feel like it's really uncomfortable because it's almost like, well, this other person's the reason that opportunity is even there. But I almost feel like when I go into this business and ask them, what they were actually thinking, they're like, well, we weren't. But and they're like, well, what was this other person saying? They were saying if I made this rocking chair, you would put this in the front of your store and you would push it, and that they would take a piece of the profit and I would take a piece of the profit. And I feel like they're kind of like, well, there's no deal like that. I didn't even know they were thinking about that. But what do you have, and what do you? Maybe we could work something out. Going around the middleman. I don't know how you feel about that, but I'm getting it's there. If you really want this to go in your favor, I also get like this card showing up. This is not really a Virgo friendly card in my opinion. It talks about dreams and possibilities. But Virgo needs something practical. They don't really I don't really think of Virgo as daydreaming about just the fancy stuff. They think about the practical. They're kind of going or motivated towards the practical. It's not usual to see that. This opportunity is very interesting because I feel like things go a different way than expected. If you're directly connected to it, there's going to be an unexpected opportunity that comes in. So if we're going to use we're making chairs, right? We're making rocking chairs out of wood. I feel like if you do that, and this business has direct connection with you, somebody else is going to be like, those chairs, that's really, really good work. Does the person who created those do anything else? Do they do, would they do this or that? Or they have other questions. Like, they seem to know what they're doing, and I like the woodwork. Do they do this? Do they do that? And I feel like if that connection is there for you, a possibility comes forward in the sense of I have this client, they actually bought 2 of your rocking chairs, but they'd love to know if you did other things because they might hire you for some other opportunity. or maybe they give your information out and you get this possibility, kind of like they're like, you know what we're thinking of is we want, this detailing but on a railing. So if we bought the railing, would you be willing to put the detailing on it that we wanted to? And we'll pay you X amount of dollars for it, or whatever. Or what would you charge us to do such a thing? It's an opportunity that you're not expecting, but I feel like you'd be happy to have. Kind of like the work and the money, and it's kind of like, yeah, I'll do that. Whoever the other person is that was going to get you the opportunity before, I feel like if you go around them, they will exit, and I don't think they're going to want to deal with you anymore. That might not be a bad thing. I feel for some of you, it's almost like a win-win, kind of like, all right, I can get more money by going around them, plus I really don't want to deal with them. So if they just kind of don't want to deal with me anymore and they just stay out of my way, that's fine. So some of you might prefer that anyway. Opportunities will keep coming after that. It's more going to be managing what you should be doing versus what really works for you. I don't know. What do we mean by that? You gotta let it get out of control. You gotta keep. The Lovers comes in with the Page of Cups. You're gonna have to be careful, to be more choosy with who you work with, and you're gonna have to be more choosy with the projects you actually want to do. Whatever this is, I feel like this should be more of a at your convenience situation. I'm not feeling this is like a mainstay of or you know what I mean, a central financial link. I'm not using the right words. I can't think of what I'm supposed to say here. Main income should not. I don't feel like this is main income. At least at this point, it's not main income. I feel like I should be more choosy at this point, at least. I'm not feeling main income. Not at this point. I feel like you should be more choosy about who you work with and what you want to do. I do feel with this energy, if you're really excited and you really believe and they're like, oh, I would love to do that, or I have ideas or that I'd love to put on this, or they want, for these railings, they want maybe pine cones and deer antlers and something. They want a bunch of that. And you're like, I can think of a pattern that I would like to do that could incorporate both of those elements. And you're like, I would like to do that. Okay, so do that. But somebody else is like, you know what, I see you did that, but I would like to do stairs, and I want to do cherry blossoms and, cherry blossoms and otter paws or something like that. And you're like, I'm not really into that. I don't really know if that's a shape I could do. I don't really know if I really want to do that. That's something that if you're not, there's nothing wrong with it, but if you're like, I don't really know if I want to do that, especially with the cherry blossoms, they want me to put some color in there, and maybe I'm not really rehearsed with putting that type of color in a faded way that it doesn't, just look like paint. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. If you don't feel it, you're going to have to pull back, because otherwise this could double back on you. More work will come if you go this path, but trust that you don't have to take everything that comes your way. I feel like that's what the trust is. The work comes your way, but trusting that I don't have to take everything that comes my way to keep it going, and trusting that being picky and choosy about not only who I work with, but what I actually will agree to do will work to more in your favor too, because you'll do more of the stuff that you really want to do, and it'll shine a lot more. It'll shine a lot brighter. And again, at this point, I don't see it being the central income for you, but there's possibilities later. It depends on how much you like it and what you want to do versus what you feel like you have to do. If it becomes something where I feel like I have to, I feel like it seems to downgrade over time, because I feel like I'm just looking to get out, because after a while I'm just I used to love this, but I have to do it so much that I'm not really loving it. I just feel like it's just something. It feels more, instead of feeling like something I love, it's starting to feel more like a job, if you follow me. Alright, I think that's where I'm going with this. Is there anything else I need to do? Possibilities, but again, I see this as more of a supportive income path. And for the time being, I feel like that's fine. Later on, you might have more possibilities, but for the next at least year or two, I feel like it would just be a supportive income. Alright, I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.